Okay. And we're back. For those just tuning in, this is WPWL 103.7 FM Polling Public Radio. And you're listening to Marcy's World. I'm your host, Dr. Nancy Iankowitz, and here we are for our wellness segment. And I invite anybody to call in with questions at 845-493-0355. We'll be talking about herbs, teas, how they can be powerful medications, and how to know whether you should be avoiding some of them and which ones to avoid, and also exercises, what's best for you during the winter time. Did you say that we have somebody on the line? Hello?
Hi, this is Jess.
Hi, Jess. Thank you for calling in. Okay, so do you, before I get started with any of the teas and whatever, do you have any thoughts, ideas, or questions?
Unfortunately, the questions I have are not related to the topic you plan to discuss during this segment.
Okay, so then maybe what we'll do is I will say a little bit about what I wanted to say, and then we'll get right to your questions. Does that sound okay?
That sounds like a plan.
Excellent. So I'll just make a few short points. Teas can be powerful medications. You might have heard that green tea has some antioxidants, polyphenols, and healthful benefits, for the body on multiple levels. And that is true. Be careful about the tea you choose. Ideally, you'll be choosing 100% USDA organic tea. Green tea in China that doesn't have that label, if it's made in China, or any other place actually, and it doesn't have the USDA organic label, it can be contaminated with heavy metal during production, such as mercury, or any other contaminants. So you want to be careful about the teas that you're drinking, especially if you're drinking them in medicinal amounts, and this is what this means. If you have 1 cup of tea a day, it's really not a big deal no matter really what you're drinking, because your liver, if it's in good shape, can filter out whatever the impurities are. But if you are drinking tea in medicinal amounts, like several cups a day of new tea bags, not 1 tea bag pouring five times, water on top of it, no. I'm talking about drinking tea, several cups of different tea bags a day. You may want to just aim for organic, and you can go to the website, Holistic and Integrative Healing, to find out what the organic symbol is. It's a circle, and it's special because, as you may know, products that claim to be organic may or may not be produced and raised as organic. So anyway, teas can be used as powerful medications. Green tea, chamomile can be used for the health of your teeth. Chamomile can be used to heal issues that are on your gums or tongue or around your teeth and your mouth. Chamomile is used by some people to help them to go to sleep or to relax. Something to know about chamomile is that if you have allergies to ragweed, seasonal allergies to pollen, you may not be able to tolerate golden seal root or chamomile, echinacea. These are herbs that can be made from the leaves, which is the true tea is from a leaf, as was pointed out to me recently. The flower or the root isn't really considered a tea, although we do drink tea that's made from flowers and roots and stems. But tea traditionally is just from the leaf. For the purpose of this program, we will be talking about teas as, from the flower or the root or the stem. It doesn't just have to be the leaf. So chamomile, echinacea, which comes from the flower as well, and golden seal, which can come from the flower or from the root, can be prepared as a tea. And that's something that you need to be careful about if you have seasonal allergies. Talk to your health provider. Just one more point about tea. Senna leaf is a preparation as a tea that's used as a laxative for people who are constipated, and that needs to be used with caution. These, just because something is in a box that says tea and can be purchased at a store doesn't mean it's safe to use. So please be very, very careful about the teas you choose. And I made a point that I was going to say something about exercise. Slow stretching, gentle, easy stretching in the winter is what the body needs. If you've been a weight builder for the past 5 years and you're in shape, you can continue to pump weights or do all that kind of heavy lifting stuff, cardiovascular. But if you've been a couch potato for 15 years and you've decided, this is the year, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to get in shape, the winter time is not the time to do anything except for gentle stretching. Save the cardiovascular, heavy stuff for the springtime. This winter season is the season of the kidney. Spring, in Chinese medicine, springtime is season of the liver, and that's rebirth, regeneration, and that is what we do, new exercises and stuff like that. Okay, so those were really just the basic points. Do I still have my listener?
Yes, I have a question regarding exercise time of year.
Oh, okay, let's go.
That doesn't make any sense to me because 1 hour of activity each day is considered healthy, and if one were to be in a warm room doing cardio or a treadmill, is that different from what you're saying, or you're making the point that the more you go outside, the less you can get cold from this? What is your point about not exercising and starting that New Year's resolution in the winter?
All right, let's see if I'm going to answer that appropriately. The question for anybody on the Facebook who might not have answered is, how can you say that, you know what, that's okay, you can put that back up. How can you say that an exercise for the winter is or isn't appropriate for a particular body? I'm going to repeat something, but tell me if I'm missing what you're saying. As a general rule, unless you are already in shape, if the New Year's resolution is, I'm going to get in shape, I've been a couch potato for 15 years, I'm 25 pounds or 50 pounds overweight, and, you know, February 12th or March 3rd is the day I'm going to begin my special training, going into heavy-duty cardiovascular or weightlifting is not the ideal way. Don't go buy yourself a treadmill and a whole universal thing to put in your basement and start working out. Not if you've been a couch potato and you're 25 or... Okay. That puts stress and strain on organs that haven't been given the heads up yet. And it's also a good way to snap ligaments or tendons and stress and strain your muscles that aren't even used to receiving the kind of burden that the circulation isn't set up to counter and feed. Does that make any sense?
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
I also have 2 questions, or more like a comment regarding tea.
Okay.
I think here to talk about preparation, and for those who drink tea, it's important to not pack the infusers too much, because adding more of a tea doesn't actually add that much more flavor if you have the right serving size amount.
That's an...
For water, and I think it's important for people to know that you can actually make the tea not taste good because you put too much.
That's an excellent point for those who, on the Facebook, who might not have heard that. The point was, don't overpack your infuser if you're using loose leaf tea, because that will not only undercut your medicinal purpose, but the flavor would be interfered with. Is that the point that you were making?
Yes, and one of my friends this weekend was telling me how don't leave, again, or even sad, and then infuse it for too long, because tea doesn't need to steep for more than 3 to 5 minutes. However, herbal tea can steep longer without a problem. But over steeping a tea, not green tea, but like a black tea, you can make it bitter. So
Over steeping a black tea makes it bitter. I didn't know that. Thank you for that.
I agree.
what I understood about a black tea, but now since you're better at black tea than I am, can you answer this question for me? Is squeezing the black tea bag contraindicated, or is it something that helps to get the good benefits of the black tea into the water? Does it make it better?
Funny that you asked that, because I said that when I'm done with the tea bag, I squeeze it and then I throw it away. And I feel like that's fine, as long as it's within the steeping time of no more than 5 minutes.
Oh, so as long as, yeah. I just wanted to say for the Facebook people who might not be able to hear what you're saying, the steeping time has to be within the 5 or 10 minutes, whatever's written on the box?
No, not 10. It's hardly ever 10.
Oh, under 10
and you're not
minutes.
getting the benefit of the tea either. It's supposed to be for 3 to 5.
Black tea is supposed to be steeped for 3 to 5 minutes, and you can squeeze the bag and then remove the bag. What if you steep it and then, does it have to be covered while it's steeping?
That I don't know. I'm not sure.
So then am I to understand from what you're saying that we should be removing the tea bag and serving the tea without the tea bag?
Correct. But herbal teas are a little different.
Answer is yes.
Some herbal teas can steep longer. However, it's also important to note for anyone who's like a tea connoisseur or interested in tea, green teas and white teas are they're fragile and very sensitive. So you've got to be, if you're going to have a good cup of tea, you have to be mindful of like the temperature of the water and
I
then
think
the timing as well.
Isn't the temperature for green tea supposed to be 167 degrees or 165, something like that, before boiling, which is 212? Don't let it boil.
Something, yeah, that
Well,
sounds right.
I think I remember reading it when I was doing some research on green tea, which is more of my expertise. Not that I'm an expert in that either, but green tea, from my understanding of the research that I've read, yields the greatest benefits when it is brewed at, whether it's loose leaf or in a bag, at 165 to 167 degrees. So it's when you're starting to simmer but not yet boil that water, and can be, for as long as you want, because if it's too hot it becomes bitter.
Right,
That's
and
what I
white
was
tea
told.
is supposed to be more potent than green tea because it's the younger leaf. But that's only for anyone who cares at all about tea. Otherwise, I'll move right along to my other question.
Well, that's when you're using tea for medicinal purposes. And again, for all listeners and viewers on Facebook, I caution you, before enjoying your tea, even as just a pleasure drink, not even if you're going to be medicinal, please respect the reality that these are chemical compounds and your body may respond to them in the way that they respond to other allergies or allergens that come in the springtime. Okay, so then that's tea. What else did you want to say?
And talking about responses from the body, that leads nicely into maybe not focusing, as my original question was about meridians, but reading the body. I've come to learn that the nails, or skin, the tongue, texture, color, teeth in the mouth, their position, and swelling of like fingers and ankles are telling of like the way the state of the body. So I wanted to know if you could tell me more about what one can read from the nails.
From the nails, okay. You mentioned tongue and nails. So this particular caller, with whom I've been on the phone for a while, asked questions about the skin, nails, and tongue. And just going to do, I'll stay on the road, I'll stay on the broadcast and keep you on the air with me while I just take a brief reminder for anybody who's just tuning in. This is WPWL 103.7 FM, Polling Public Radio. You are listening to Marcy's World on the Wellness Wisdom segment. And I'm on the line. I'm Dr. Nancy Iankowitz, and I'm on the line with Jess, a listener. And she is sharing information that she has researched, and she's seeking clarification on that, and also teaching me some things. And I invite anybody else who wants to call in. You can do so at 845-493-0355. And we will take your points as well. But just to get back to Jess, you still with me, Jess?
I am.
Excellent. So, you're talking about skin, nails, and the tongue, and how they reflect the internal organs and the wellness of the total body. I know you asked about the nails, if there were ridges in the nails or the nails are brittle. Nails and hair are a buddy system. Skin, nails, and hair in particular tend to reflect thyroid function, and they can also reflect the spleen and the health of the liver. If the skin has a yellow tinge, you're either eating tons and tons of carrots and yams and you've given your skin a yellow tinge, or if you have a yellow tinge to your skin and that's not from your genetic heritage, you may want to check it out to make sure that your liver is not trying to ask for special attention. And you go to your primary healthcare provider and say, look, this is the color of my skin right now. Just want to double check, make sure everything's okay. And then your doctor will ask you a whole bunch of questions and do some blood tests and figure stuff out. And then help you, along that journey. So that's the skin. The skin can be dry and flaky. If it is, and the nails are brittle and the hair is fine and seems to be getting thin, that may be a signal that your thyroid's asking for some sort of attention. So, breaking of nails and the hair, breaking and splitting and falling out suddenly, and skin are reflecting the internal organs. As far as the tongue goes, the tongue is a map to the entire body. And there are areas of the tongue that reveal to you whether you are in need of better coping mechanisms for stress and anxiety. You'll see this around.
I saw a diagram and I was amazed because I currently have a challenge with one of my teeth, and the physician is supposed to be telling you of other organ challenges that your body's experiencing, and it couldn't have been more correct. So I'm sorry, I'm looking forward to hearing more of what you say because...
Well, that was another point you brought up. No, that's very good, not to cut you off. The tooth, also, the number, like for example, if tooth number 14, which is on the upper left-hand side of the mouth, if that particular tooth is giving somebody a toothache or an issue, first you want to see if it's a sinus thing going on, and you do the saltwater rinse. More about that another time. But if your dentist, sorry?
I've been doing it 3 times.
Oh, you have stuff like that going on too. Good for you for handling that. The tooth can indicate, according to Chinese medicine, and I am not educated or skilled in terms of formal education with Chinese medicine. It's just a passion of mine, and I've been reading an awful lot about it and tapping into resources, other professionals who have been trained professionally in Chinese medicine. Tooth number 14, for example, upper left, is a tooth that correlates with, I guess it's thyroid and spleen?
Yep.
And the back of the tongue, if you stick your tongue out, you would see then the area, there's an area in the tongue that also correlates with that. If you have ridges on your tongue, when you stick your tongue out and you look in the mirror and there are scallops or ridges, that indicates poor absorption intestinally, which means that whatever you're eating or drinking, you may not be absorbing all of the nutrients that you are hoping to absorb. So it's an indication of inflammation. So when the tongue swells slightly, it reveals itself with those scallops on the side, those ridges. So somebody who's missing papillae around the rims in a particular way where it changes the color, that is a situation that represents needing coping mechanisms to handle stress and anxiety. We may miss papilla. Those are those little bumps on the tongue, on different areas of the tongue. When that happens, check out the Facebook page, Holistic and Integrative Healing, for a map of the tongue, or just Google Traditional Chinese Medicine, TCM, Map of Tongue, and you can see where where the tongue being pale can indicate maybe you don't have enough red blood cells, maybe you need to boost that. The tongue is fabulous. So you have the hair, skin, and the nails. You have the tongue. You have the teeth.
I
Yes.
didn't hear you talk about the hair.
The hair. If it is thinning or splitting or, falling out, it may indicate something having to do with thyroid function. It may not, but that may be something that's calling attention to itself. So, did you hear that now, this time?
Sorry, yes. I apologize for not hearing it originally.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Any other thoughts from you? Zach, do we have anybody else on the line? No? Okay. Any other thoughts that you have? This is lovely because nobody else called. And you are really adding to this show. You're teaching me. And we're able to, increase the value of this show by teaching our listeners and our viewers. What else do you have to share?
That's all for now. Thank
That's
you.
all for now. All righty. So thank you so much for calling, Jess. Then we'll say bye-bye to you for now, and I'll return to the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take a break.
And I hope that Jess feels better with whatever's going on in her mouth, with her sinuses, and I really appreciate her calling in. I hope that there are more people who, over the course of the next weeks, are comfortable to call in. So today our Winter Wellness Wisdom Tips involved tea, taking herbs and tea seriously, understanding where they're made, recognizing that organic needs to have a circle with green and white, a particular shade of green, because any company that stamps that label on their product is guaranteeing you that this is an organically produced and 100% organic with every property, everything in it is organic. And if you discover that it is not, they've made promises to you that they are legally responsible for. Anybody else who says this is just organic is not held responsible for the contents being organic. It must have this particular label. And as you walk through the fruits and vegetable department, and even the meat department, you'll start to see other companies imitating. The same way you can do it in the pharmacy when you have Head and Shoulders, let's say, and then there's something that has the same shaped package, the same colors, and it says, if you like Head and Shoulders, try this, but it's a generic brand. These are the lookalikes, and they try to take advantage of people who are not discerning consumers. So now you know a little bit more about how to choose your foods to make sure that they are healthful and what you are really aiming for. We know in terms of diet and nutrition that to be gluten-free, to cut out partially hydrogenated anything, high fructose corn syrup, white sugar, any of that stuff, that is a very good start. You could do that with or without the permission of your healthcare provider. That you can cut out and know that you're doing something good for your body. Gentle stretches during the winter, aiming for 100% USDA organic is something that's important because you know that the script, that are the chemical compounds of that food, is the script that your body was born to read. And anything else may have nonsense syllables in it and may not be communicating, because food is a communication that we have with our body. So thank you so much for joining into Marcy's World. This is Dr. Nancy Iankowitz. You've been listening to WPWL 103.7 FM, Pauling Public Radio, and we will be back in 2 weeks with a new Marcy's story. Stay tuned for Intermission with Christine Bexley. Bye-bye for now.